Like and subscribe and click the bell icon to get new video updates.
Crypto is the new dot-com bust. Could it also be the new crisis? Mark Gongloff is a Bloomberg opinion editor and writer of the Opinion Today newsletter. A former managing editor of Fortune.com, he ran the HuffPost's business and technology coverage and was a reporter and editor for the Wall Street Journal. At Mark Gongloff, this is Bloomberg Opinion Today, a tragicomedy of Bloomberg opinions. Sign up here. Today's agenda: the tragicomedy of crypto as the crypto ecosystem implodes, evaporating hundreds of billions of dollars in paper wealth. A million voices are crying out in pain and terror. Like such, it's natural to sympathize with these people, many of whom poured all their money into overpriced ridiculous assets, from Dogecoin to cartoon apes, at the top of a bubble. Then again, we tried to warn them. And this was their typical response, sometimes from the very same people bemoaning their plight today. So after years of being told to LOL, have fun staying poor, it's also natural to LOL now at headlines like "The Onion's man who lost everything in crypto just wishes several thousand more people had warned him," even when this describes untold numbers of real, suffering human beings. If, as Mel Brooks said, tragedy is when I cut my finger and comedy is when you fall in an open manhole and die, then, well, we're living through a golden age of comedy. Maybe there's even some evolutionary advantage to mocking people who suffer after ignoring repeated warnings. When they weren't telling us to stay poor, crypto enthusiasts were also obnoxiously resistant to the kind of regulation that might have spared them some of this pain. And now the scaffolding of the crypto ecosystem, from exchanges to algorithmic stablecoins, is predictably crumbling like wet cardboard at the first sign of real trouble, notes Lionel Laron. When our tears of laughter or pain have dried, crypto will still be around, and it will still need many barn doors shut, even if most of the horses have already escaped and been turned into horsemeat on the highway running next to the horse farm. This is not just for the protection of crypto investors, but possibly all investors. As Matt Levine notes, crypto doesn't yet seem integral enough to the financial system to cause another full-blown crisis, but it's a lot closer than it was just 5 years ago. And a whole bunch of people, including big investors, piled in at the top. If enough people borrow real money to buy cartoon apes or whatever and have to cover margin calls, then you've got what looks like a real problem. And that could be a tragedy. Bonus saving us from ourselves reading, the SEC seems to be regulating SPACs out of existence, and good riddance, honestly. Chris Bryant thought for food to Vladimir Putin's long list of crimes against humanity we must add shutting down the flow of wheat from Ukraine, raising the risk of famine in many parts of the world. Fortunately, unlike most of Putin's other crimes, there's something we can do to relieve the effects of this one. Jiden Eshel points out the US and Canada have vast food stockpiles that can be shared with other countries. Maybe we'll do better with those than we did with COVID vaccines. Ha ha, ugh. But a more effective thing humanity could do is turn livestock feed into human food and just eat less meat. Plant-based alternatives are more efficient, and they'll make people healthier in the bargain. The war has also caused a fertilizer shortage, but there are ways around that too. You just might not like all of them. We can use animal waste, as Amanda Little suggested yesterday. But there aren't enough farm animals to supply all the fertilizer we need. Here's the part you won't like. Adam Minter suggests there is more than enough human waste to go around. Don't believe me? Just use Facebook. Ha ha, ugh. In fact, before people invented artificial fertilizer, they routinely used their own waste. And now we have fancy modern ways to keep out the grody diseases. Bon appetit. Further saving the world reading, multinationals shouldn't greenwash by abandoning big projects to dirtier competitors in emerging markets. Mihir Sharma say hello to Bloomberg. UK Brexit continues to be one of history's worst cell phones by an entire nation, complicating the free flow of goods and labour between the UK and its biggest trading partners just before an inflation-stoking pandemic and war. And yet the UK still has limitless potential as one of the world's most influential and stable democracies, writes Bloomberg LP founder Mike Bloomberg, who is doubling down on the company's media coverage there. Editor-in-Chief John Micallithwaite has all the details on the launch of Bloomberg UK, which will heavily feature many local Bloomberg opinion stars. One of those will be Matthew Brooker, who shares his bittersweet emotions on returning to home after 30 years in